Hello everybody, welcome to Lab 4. Now we are going to start working with sensors. Our first sensor for today is a photoresistor. This photoresistor is basically a variable resistor that changes the values of the resistance depending on the light intensity. Okay, so this is the photoresistor. It actually looks very similar to the one in real life. Let me show you right here how it looks like. It's basically a photoresistor, and this circuit we have here in real life is the one that we are simulating on Tinkercad. So just so you know, we're going to pull out the photoresistor from our components, and we are going to add to that photoresistor, we are going to add, of course, a 1 kilo ohm resistor, and then just cable the 3 wires. Basically, the first pin of this photoresistor is going to go straight to the 5 volts where my current flow is going to follow, and then this photoresistor is basically a voltage divider. Okay, in electronics, a voltage divider is just changes the amount of voltage that enters a pin. So here I have the other pin connected to ground. Okay, and then this variable resistor is the one that's going to change. So this is going to give me a value depending on the light intensity. Okay, from the video that you previously watched on how photoresistors work, you might know that this photoresistor requires this resistor here, of course. Okay, and that's the voltage divider. So as you can see, this blue wire that I have over here is the one that's going to tell me how much light intensity is receiving the photoresistor. Now, this value goes from 0, theoretically, from 0 to 1028. Okay, so those values depend on if there's a lot or no light at all. Okay, now that is translated into a voltage from 0 to 5. Okay, so actually what goes through here is a voltage, or it's a reference that goes from 0 to 5, and the Arduino transforms those values into a value between 0 and 1024. Okay, sorry, 1024, which actually is about 10 bits. Now those 10 bits require, well, it's pretty much a good range to work with, and that's what we're going to do today. Now, according to the code, you see this A0, this is an analog input. Remember, the Arduino has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 analog inputs that we can use in order to receive variable data or variable inputs. Okay, now on the code is a very simple code that we're going to start our lab with, and it's just we're going to create an integer value. Okay, so here we just create an integer value. And this integer variable, we're going to call it sensor, okay? And we are going to initialize this variable with 0, okay? Now on our void setup, we are going to set up our communication protocol. So this is our COM protocol, which we have used previously, and we use the serial monitor for this, okay? Now on our void loop, we are just going to see what the Arduino is receiving depending on the intensity of light. So this is a very simple code. It only has like about 11, 12 lines of code. Actually, it has a lot less than that, okay? Now on our void loop, this function, serial.println, is gonna print all what the analog is reading on pin 0. Okay, remember that sensor is 0, and it's going to read what is reading on this pin. That is basically what it's doing. Okay, so we're all set. This is the very first configuration that we're going to do. We're going to click Start Simulation, and as you can see, I see the serial monitor giving me some value, 6, 6, 6, 6, and so on and so forth. So this is the amount of light that the photoresistor is receiving. If I want to change that, I can click on the photoresistor. You can see that there's let me see if I can move it a little bit. So there's a slide bar, okay, and I can move that slide bar to obtain more light if I'm simulating more light on the photoresistor, and as you can see, the serial monitor starts changing the values. So basically the maximum that I can get right here with this resistor, which is 1 kilo ohm, is up to 679. That might change. Okay, now you can click and start the simulation again and see where do you want to get. So as you can see, the maximum using this resistor is about 679. Okay, and the minimum would be 6. This is very important in order to kind of like add the conditionals to your program. Let's say if you want a certain amount of light, let's say 5 p.m. or 5:30 p.m., then you want the Arduino to do something. Just in, let's say you want to close the curtains, or you want to open the curtains, or you want to turn on the light from your house, or you want to do something else depending on the amount of light that it's receiving, okay? So this is where you create the conditionals. Okay, now it's your turn to develop this program and configuration and start your lab.